Jeffrey works a 9-to-5 job that he dislikes. He wakes up still sleep deprived from the night before, but he has to get ready. He has to go on his depressing commute on public transport in the morning peak time, all packed and sweaty. He stays in work till the evening, then he gets the same commute home in the evening time. It's still packed and sweaty. All he has the energy for is instant gratification like video games and porn. He hates that he has no power or freedom in his schedule, and yet he does nothing to help himself. Adonis has total freedom and power over himself. Adonis understands the importance of freedom for a man, and so he sets his life up in a way that fulfills this great need. I've only worked a full-time job for about 6 weeks of my entire life. I'm 25 years old, and those 6 weeks where I worked a full-time customer service job were the worst weeks of my entire life. When I look back and actually say to myself, oh yeah, it was 6 weeks, it felt like longer. It was very torturous. I'm gonna sound like an asshole, okay? I'm gonna give you a disclaimer right now. This video is gonna be one of those asshole entrepreneurs who tell you, like, everyone can be an entrepreneur, like, escape the night. This is gonna be one of those videos. A lot of people hate videos like this, and they say, like, oh, well, the fucking excuse these people make, like, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Shut the fuck up. Not everyone, Hamza, some people need to work. No, shut the fuck up. Okay, some people need to work normal jobs. Why does it have to be you? If you don't want to be one of those people who works like a normal fucking job in customer service, or a job that you don't like, then you can continue watching, and hopefully you can get some inspiration to change up your life and get some more freedom. Because, you know, if there's one thing, when I come across people in my normal day-to-day, there was a girl that I just connected with very well in Thailand just before I left. It's a whole story that I'll tell on a different video, but one of the things that she really aspired for was freedom, and we really like bonded over that. And she was saying that she wanted like time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. And it really got me thinking when she was saying this, because I've heard so many people with the same desire that they wanted freedom, and that's exactly the position in life that I was in when I was working full time. It's that depressing thing that if you work a normal job, you can probably relate to, when, you know, it just ends up being too late. You know, it's like a weekday and you've just stayed up a little bit too late, and you literally set your alarm knowing that you're going to be sleep deprived. And so you wake up the next morning, and every bit inside of you, every like physical need inside of you, like, you know, your soul is telling you, like, stay in bed, we need more sleep, we need more sleep. But nope, your alarm's gone off. Daddy's waiting for you in the office. Come on, little bitch, get the fuck up. Put your clothes on like a little bitch. Take your depressing commute like a little bitch. Sounds horrible what I'm saying, but is it not the truth? If you don't have control over your schedule, you are a little bitch. If you can't wake up at whatever time you choose to. Now, of course, in my opinion, still wake up early, still make sure you're not sleep deprived. But you should have control over that. You should have the freedom for your schedule. The people that I know who have freedom over their schedules, compared to the people that I know who don't have freedom over their schedules, it's like a different breed of human. It's totally a different breed of human, especially for the men. Freedom is entirely powerful, like such a necessity for men. In the Way of the Superior Man, which is like the Bible for masculinity, it's stated that men crave freedom. Everything we do is all about this, like, freedom. It's release. Like, even if you think sexually of like how a man actually has sex, it's all about freedom and release. And you know something I have to admit to you? The Jeffrey intro of this video, where, you know, Jeffrey wakes up, he's sleep deprived, and he goes on his depressing commute, and then he works till the evening time, then he takes a depressing commute back home, and then he comes home and all he really feels like he has the energy for is instant gratification, video games and everything. That was me 2 years ago. I've told this story multiple times. Like, I would cry very often, and the Jeffreys can laugh all they want, like, oh, he's a man and he's gonna shut the fuck up, Jeffrey. I would cry often with that life that I was living, waking up sleep deprived. I would wake up early as well because I wanted to go to the gym before work. Get to the gym, do my workout, do my work shift, finish at like 6:30. It's already dark outside. I didn't even get to see the sun all day. Taking like public transport back home, and it's like a 45-minute, 1 hour commute. Get home at 7 p.m, something like that, and like literally got what, 3 hours left. Desires of entrepreneurship and being productive and self-improvement are in my mind, but I've just been in work all day. Why not just smoke weed, eat junk food, spend my time just sitting around watching shit and just zoning the fuck out and hating my life? And so there was a particular pathway that I would take on my commute. This one stretch of like pavement that just means a lot to me when I think back, because it was literally my crying spot. There was like a particular place, like just, you know, meters away from my apartment, which was just pitch black. Some people, you know, every now and then someone would also take that shortcut, because the shortcut was kind of like treacherous, like you'd maybe get muddy sometimes if you went through that way, but I resonated with fucking getting muddy, I guess. And every now and then I'd see someone, you know, walk in, they'd always have their flashlight on because this part of this road, like outside of our apartment, was pitch black. Like this pavement outside of our apartment was pitch black, no lights. And oftentimes I'd just turn my flashlight off and just burst into fucking tears. Why? Because I had no freedom over my life. I had no freedom over my own schedule. These people who criticize like the videos that I make when I talk about like, yeah, get into entrepreneurship, get into making more money. They criticize it with the same fucking critique of like, but not everyone can make, shut the fuck up. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Okay, yes, 100% of people, 7 billion people can't be entrepreneurs. Okay, fair enough. If that's these Jeffries arguments, they're fucking idiots. That was never like what I've, all 7 billion people, shut the fuck up. I'm talking to you, a young man who's watching this, who resonates with the message. You can relate to what I'm saying, so that means that you should be one of those young men who gets into entrepreneurship so you can have control of your schedule. And this is not some fucking like shill that, oh, buy my online, I don't have anything to sell you. Maybe hope is the one thing that I'm trying to sell you right now. That's where my life was 2 years ago, and I didn't accept it anymore. I made drastic changes. I took risks. You know, you always hear from these like big badass motherfuckers about taking risks. Successful people always take risks. Bro, this was the first time in my life that I took a fucking risk, and I quit my full-time job when I had bills to pay so that I could start actually having the time and mental capacity to work on my own projects. Slowly and surely things built up. I changed up my entire life for this, and now I have more freedom than any other person that I know, that I've ever known in my entire life. There was a period about 6 months ago, 1 year ago, where I felt like I was retired. I worked for barely 2 hours per week. Yes, 2 hours per week. And I was making a lot of money then, and I still make a lot of money now. Oh, he's boasting, shut the fuck up. I've just come back from 2 months in Thailand. Do you know that was the goal 2 years ago when I hated my life? I would literally have dreams of becoming like a digital nomad. I had this vision, this journaling session where I thought, okay, what is like the dream life that I could have? And I just saw, maybe it was like a trend back then, but I saw myself like opening up a laptop in like a cafe in Thailand and like doing work there and like, oh, like I'm making online income and like, you know, I'm in Thailand and it's so like beautiful here. I've got so much freedom. I can do work when I want, where I want. I don't need to be stuck on like this inflexible, rigid schedule which has been set by someone else. Like, how as a man could you feel okay with yourself with that? Being told by daddy to come in at a certain time. Do you know, for my staff members, like there's no fucking rules. There's no like wear this, turn up at this time. It's just, yep, here's the task that I expect you to do, impress me. Continue to impress me and I'll double your pay soon, no problem. But I will never tell a man like, oh yeah, show up to work at this, shut the fuck up. And yet that's happening to you. It's been happening to you from what, 4 years old, when you're pulled into the education system, the fucked up school system. Yep, little Jimmy, come here. It's 8 a.m. I know you're sleep deprived, but it's time to start school. Let's teach you things in a way that doesn't resonate with your masculine energy. Let's traumatize you by putting you in a room full of other fucked up sleep deprived kids, and some of them will bully you. And you know what? The teacher will fucking bully you. The teacher will traumatize you. The teacher will look at you in the face and get like close and personal and start screaming at you because you made a noise in class. Like, how does that make sense? You've been bred, you've been raised. It's fucking heartless. You've been bred, you've been raised to be used to having no freedom in your life from early childhood with the education system, and then you're thrown into like university and shit, and then it's time for jobs. When I thought of this video idea, it was probably a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I was literally on my motorbike in Thailand. I had just gotten a haircut and I was driving, I think, back to the villa, and I thought I had this feeling of like freedom. And I'm kind of used to it now. You know, this has been my life like the last 2 years, so I'm used to having like freedom over my finances, my time, my location. It hit me that the majority of men don't have this. And I felt like this pit in my stomach just visualizing myself not having freedom, living like a normal person. I bet that's the same feeling that you have when you hear these words. This feeling of like detest to the world. This like agitation feeling of like, what the fuck, I've got to wake up again tomorrow and do the same day. I've got to go and make money for someone else's company instead of my own. There is a way out of this. You can probably tell if you've watched my videos before, or maybe even just from this one. I'm quite like a big thinker, ambitious, and 100% like I've got parts of me which are very like cocky and arrogant, aren't I? You can tell, right? That's quite obvious. You can tell that I'm kind of a guy who would be quite arrogant. And so when I tell you that I'm actually not special, that how I reached this point of life where I am totally free, I have freedom in my schedule, I have freedom of time, I have freedom of income, I have freedom of location. I can do literally whatever. Of course, there's limits to that, but I don't have to work. I don't have to wake up at a certain time. I don't have to go to sleep at a certain time. I do for my own sake, for my own development, for my own discipline, but those are in my control, not by someone else's. And yet I'm not special. I reached this point having experienced the normal life of, having no freedom, working full time, and I am here today. I am not special. You can recreate exactly what I did in the exact same way. You need to have that belief of yourself. And again, this isn't like a big ploy for me to like get you into fucking Hustlers University or some shit. I have nothing to sell you. I have nothing to link to you. I wish 3 years ago someone like looked me in the eyes and said these words: you can do it. The life that you want literally is just at the end of 6 to 12 months of hard work. You can do it. It's not going to be fucking easy. It's not going to be easy. You got these dreams of passive income, shut the fuck up. You got these dreams of early retirement, shut the fuck up. You got these dreams of like 4-hour work week, shut the fuck up. You dedicate your life to this. For the next 12 months, you dedicate like literally every single waking minute to this. And then you never have to look back again. It's not going to be easy, but it is possible. And if you look at the view count of this video, 99% of men will never even try. They'll hear this video, they'll get proper psyched up, and then they'll change fucking nothing. Maybe you'll be part of the 1% who actually want to take action and will ruthlessly dedicate their fucking lives to this. You want to see my phone lock paper? Where is it? How nice is that I don't even know where my fucking phone is? That's a side tangent, but you motherfuckers talking about like productivity, procrastination, and your phone's always next to you. You see that? This is my phone lock screen. My phone lock screen is literally my timetable. I live a life of like ruthless military discipline. For just 2 months I was in Thailand and I was kind of, you know, eased off and I was just enjoying myself. I didn't even enjoy myself, bro. Do you know when I'm happiest, when I'm most fulfilled, is when I have this level of like masculine drive inside of me. I live to like a timetable, you know, like the timetables we used to have in school, or you know, like the timetable that people in the military have. 5 a.m. wake up, 5:30 morning routine, 7 a.m. gym, 9 a.m. post workout meal, 11 a.m. deep work, write 1,500 words, 2:30 p.m. record videos. Like everything is regimented. This is my phone lock screen. So when I tell you that this is not easy, it is possible. You can do this, but it's not easy. If you dedicate your life the same way that I have done, you can achieve the same results. So before I even start telling you the pathway, ask yourself, are you willing to do this, or will you be a little bitch and click away? Will you hear the advice and be like, oh yeah, and then change nothing with your life? Ask yourself and say the word yes or no right now. Will you do this? Will you at least try to do this? You need to keep in mind that this is absolutely possible and say these words in your brain. If Hamza can do it, I can. Hamza had no advantage over me. In fact, I'm probably better suited than he is anyway. I'm probably smarter than he is anyway. I probably sweat less because he's wearing a thick ass bathrobe and it's like 20 degrees outside. Achieving male freedom first starts with your finances, because time freedom and location freedom will come when you actually have money and you have like income coming in. There's a very special goal that you need to set, that you need to obsess over, that you need to write down on your phone. You need to write it down on a piece of paper and stick it up on your wall. You need to stick it up in your mirror. You need to obsess over this goal and it will transform your life. And your brain is gonna be a little bitch first when I say this, but you need to obsess over this goal. Are you ready? $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month income is the big magical number that when someone sets themselves that goal and they dedicate their entire day, like their life for the next year, they automatically achieve it. Now, again, that doesn't mean like, oh, well, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. Like, you do work for this. You're dedicating your life. You're gonna wake up with this thought, yep, 10,000 a month is my goal. 10,000 a month is my goal. You're gonna be having a shit reading your phone, which literally just says 10,000 a month is your goal. You're gonna be getting changed, looking into the mirror. There's a piece of paper that says 10,000 a month is your goal. You obsess over a goal like this, and like literally magical things happen when you obsess over goals like this. Now you're getting pissed off because you're like, well, how do I actually make it? Yeah, don't worry. First, it starts with the goal, it starts with the vision and the dream, and you obsess over it. You make that like your one focus. And what's so interesting, you might have never done this, so right now you're getting pissed off because you're like, okay, but tell me what to do, Hamza. Your brain will generate the idea on how to fulfill that goal that you obsess over. It's just that you've never really had like a big goal to obsess over before. You've been conditioned to be like a weak little bitch, to have no ambition, to set small dick goals. I always call them small dick goals because it's like, you know how there's small dick energy and big dick energy? The majority of young men set small dick goals. 10,000 a month is starting to get like, now it feels like medium sized, but when you're first starting off, that's a big goal to push for. And it's incredibly inspiring to have a goal like that. Obsess over that number right now, $10,000 a month. Obsess over that number. Specifically, because you're watching this about wanting freedom, you'll specifically want that $10,000 a month to come from an online business. The way to achieve this, like I said, is to obsess over it and, you know, to keep it into mind. But the resource, the education that will help you to achieve it is called, it's this book. You need to buy this book right now. I don't have an affiliate link or anything. I'm not mentioned. I'm going to literally say the book name. It's not even linked in the description. Go find it yourself. Read this book. It'll transform your life. If you don't read it, you're a little bitch. The book is called .com Secrets, by Russell Brunson. You read that book. As soon as you're finished, you read the second book, which is titled Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. As soon as you're finished that second book, you read the third book, Expert Secrets, Russell Brunson. It's a 3-part book. It's like a trilogy. So you read the first one first, .com Secrets. You start with that one. You read that book, you follow it exactly what it says, your life will transform. Hopefully you can just put your trust in this advice and not listen to your Jeffrey brain, because this is interesting, right? If you're making a good amount of money right now, if you're making more than 10,000 a month, let's say 50,000 a month, a good amount of money, and your brain disagrees, then okay, I'll take your criticism, I'll take your feedback. Okay, let's listen, you're successful, let me hear what you have to say. But if you're sat here right now and you've heard this piece of advice and you're broke and you have less than £5,000 in your bank account and your income is less than like 2,000-3,000 a month, and your Jeffrey brain is denying it and saying like, no, it wouldn't help me, like, oh, I can't do it, shut the fuck up, bro. If you haven't achieved like the level of success, like your brain doesn't know the answers, does it? Your brain is the reason why you're broke. Your brain is the reason why you have no freedom. And so don't trust your brain, because it's only led you to where you are today. Do you know how to actually like make improvements in your life and become more successful? You literally have to just stop trusting your own brain and start trusting the brain of someone, hopefully that's trustable, who's like qualified and experienced. And I'm not saying me. This is the interesting part. I'm not saying to trust me. I'm saying to trust this author who's worth like more than 100 million or something, who's a very like wholesome guy, and his books are fantastic. .com Secrets, Russell Brunson. Start reading that today with that goal of making $10,000 a month. Now dedicate your life to this singular goal for the next 1 to 3 years. Simple as that. Shut the fuck up. For the next 1 to 3 years, this is your biggest goal in mind. I guarantee within 6 months, 12 months, you'll achieve it. Even though right now you don't even think it's possible. Even though right now there's so many excuses like, oh, but I'm in India, and every excuse that you want to make. Oh, but I'm 50. Shut the fuck up. But I'm 15. All of these excuses your Jeffrey brain is producing, and you listen to them like a little bitch instead of telling like your Jeffrey brain to shut the fuck up. Sometimes my brain produces like stupid thoughts, limiting beliefs, and I literally say to it like, shut the fuck up. I'm not limited in any way. That's why I'm creating like such a great level of success. Because you think you're limited, you are limited. If you listen to your limitations and tell them to shut the fuck up, they'll be in non-existent. And the majority of people don't do this. They'll hear a limitation like, oh, but I'm in India, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, it makes sense, so I guess I can't be wealthy. Oh, but shut the fuck up. Tell your Jeffrey brain, shut the fuck up. Anytime it produces like a random unhelpful thought, at this point you've already achieved most of it. You're making $10,000 a month in an online business. You're not totally financially free, you're not like financially free and being able to retire, but you're making more than enough, $10,000 more than enough to like experience like a very, very good life. The reason why I've told you to set the goal for 10K a month is because that's the magic number where like after that you don't really get that many like better lifestyle improvements because of it. Just, do you know what I mean? So when you're making 10K a month, you can do anything. You can go to any country you want. You can like live in pretty much any country reasonably and have like a very good life, have like a nice place to live, a nice house, a nice apartment, a car. You can do all the like the good things of life. Past 10K a month, when you're making 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 250K a month, my goal for the end of this year is 150K for December. And people laughed at me when I said that last year. People said cap. They said like lol. My original goal was 100K for this December coming up. I've increased it to 150. People literally laughed at me and said it was impossible. Well, they said the same thing about me making 10K. Right now, my business makes about 45,000 a month. In December 2022, I will make £150,000 of income over the month. Whatever your brain's responded to that, it's very interesting for you to just be analytical and think, why did my brain respond in that way? Hamza said he'll make 150K. Why did my brain say like, no, he won't, it's impossible. You want even more freedom past this point. You need freedom in your personal life, your possessions, your relationships, your location. Many people are tied down because of materialism. I've heard before, this blows my fucking mind, and maybe it will for you. I've heard people make decisions that aren't good for them, that, you know, they don't want to leave this job or they can't leave this area because of material possessions that are like too hard to move. Like, oh, but I've got this car, so I can't go to my dream job in some other country. Oh, but all my handbags. Hopefully that's not going to be you. Obviously, I'm picturing some like middle-aged stupid woman instead. But even for you, there's a lack of freedom that you as a young man have because of poor choices that like normal people make. Maybe you've got like a car which is on finance and so you're tied down to that. Maybe you've got like a bunch of shit that you can't like move around. You're not as flexible. I was able to go to Thailand with a backpack and a small suitcase with clothes in. Like it was nothing. The main possession that I have is this PC, this gaming PC that I've had for like 3-4 years. It's maybe worth, I don't know, £1,000, £2,000 or something. That's it. That's the main possession. It's like, I'm fine without it. I did my work on a laptop instead. I don't own a car. I don't think I will. I won't own like a home or any bullshit like that, like normal people investments. Like, oh, rental. Shut the fuck up. When you're tied down like that and you own stuff, that stuff owns you. One of the things that I've learned from investigating the wealthy, researching them and like, you know, learning from them is that a lot of them don't actually own a lot of stuff. They've got assets, which is essentially like, you know, parts of their business and parts of their income generation. But a lot of the stuff that they have is actually rented. So they go to a nice place and they rent the villa, 5k. They go to another nice place and they rent a supercar. They don't buy the car, they rent it. They rent it, get most of the enjoyment from it, and then give it back for like a fee that's quite insignificant for them. And yet, most normal people, what do? They're 20 years old, 22 years old, like all your friends, and everyone's got this dream of like, oh, I can't wait to buy and own a house. Small dick. And yeah, oh, I've just insulted everyone, but it is a small dick goal. That's the height of most people's lives experiences. It's like, oh, I'll buy a house 3 miles away from my parents' house. Yes, I'm so successful. Oh, we should have children right now, honey. We're only 24. Like that's what most people fucking do with their lives, bro. The next level of freedom, which I'm getting to then, is like the special level that maybe 1% of people ever get to, which is, okay, now you're talking. This is the level where you get multiple passports, where you've got freedom to like hop to a different country, no problem, because of you've got like access to a private jet. I think private jets cost like 50k a flight, something like that. Once you can afford things like that easily without it really stressing you out, that's a level of freedom that you and I aren't aware of just yet. And it's where I'm going to. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.